Welcome, 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 everyone, to another adventure into reality. David is traveling today, and he shall be back later this week with some incredible special guests from the ethers that are there to surprise you, astound you, confound you, arouse you, and potentially educate you. All right, everyone, come on into the room. Go on and sit down. I am going to be reading something called the Mandela Effect Revocation. How many people here know what the Mandela Effect is? So if you pop into the chat room right over there, chink chink chink, and write in what you think of what the Mandela Effect is. Obviously, this document is going to greatly expand it. Similar to the consciousness strike, this document is meant to challenge you, confound you, astound you, help you remember, be in your sovereign space, and many, many more things. It is also remembering who we are in the past, so our present being can create and inspire in this moment, so our future beings are created and inspired. We've all heard the term, we are all of our past, present, and future simultaneous existing beings, and the Mandela Effect is one of those journeys to help us understand simultaneous existence. Now, in the modern culture right now, the Mandela Effect itself is like Stouffer's stovetop stuffing. So there are those that believe that they've heard it, and yet when you go and connect with Stouffer's, they've never had a product called stovetop stuffing, as well as many other really quirkadirk things that that happen to affect people in different ways, shapes, and forms. The Mandela Effect is remembering. It is also something that is true and yet not true. One group remembers it one way, and another says it never happened that way in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so everyone pop onto the chat room, write what you think the Mandela Effect is. Also, this document will make some people become emotional and others will not. Now, if you're going to want a copy of this, you're going to have to go to andrewbartzis.com and sign up for our email list, and then you will get the document as part of a download for it. This is not a short document. This is a very long one. It'll take about 30, 35 minutes for it to read out. But I want you all to sit, relax, and see this as a meditative moment, also in which you can take notes. Notes are such an amazing and a wonderful thing out there. Okay? Notes. Because when we're done with this document, we're going to talk about the Mandela Effect. So all those callers that already have your hands raised, we are going to be talking about the Mandela Effect when you're done. Hint, hint, wink, wink. All right, everyone, sit back, relax, open your mind as I open my document. Excuse me. Okay. On a count of 3, you're all going to relax, fall into your zone. 1. Mandela Effect Revocation, Invocation. In the temple of the I Am Self, I'm here to evolve my very understanding of memories encoded in light. I, Andrew J. Bartzis, in service to light, a clearly remembered of the forgotten from the land of the forgotten in void space, born March 23rd, 1974, as this ever-present being of the now, declare my awareness of something that is known as the Mandela Effect. I have discovered myself as a signature frequency match for being erased and forgotten through time and remembered through other frequencies of forgotten time. In the land of the forgotten, a vow was made amongst all the forgotten. And all of our great works, there will be a remembering as Earth's greatest champions etch their way out of the eternal struggle now. In this era of light, during the great Dreamtime Awakening, come, brothers and sisters of the forgotten, now is our time to turn the tide and spread the light throughout humanity in this ever-present moment of the Earth-centric sine wave of existence. I, as this ever-present being of the now, declare my awareness of the Mandela Effect. I now etch my way out of my eternal struggle and join myself, united with all other forgotten beings, so there may be a remembering. I remember my pledge and promise so that Earth's greatest champions may unite in our singular purpose and plan, related to the Mandela effect. To be champions to each other while we're all on the path to being remembered. I now bring back to sacred neutral balance my unique perception, filtered on what time is, was, and ever will be in every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe I exist on. I bring now an audit to every place I have ever been, a service to light in time, no time, cut off from time, or in void space. I unify all of them under one collective to have control of this Mandela effect, and I bring all myself back to memory. Anyone who has shared a memory in any dimension, time stream, galaxy, or universe in which we share DNA memories, we now activate that strand of DNA in every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe so that there is a cyclical cycle of awareness and no longer forgetfulness. I choose to activate my inner genius and in turn activate the inner genius of others by manifesting Mandela effects in an undeniable way so that our reality is questioned and an awakening occurs now in this era of the great Dreamtime awakening. The true expression of the Mandela effect is balancing the ancestral past and the ancestral future by the living beings of the now being the living algorithm of light, in which that living algorithm is continuously in the ever-present moment of the now, which is in change, and has the capacity, capability, and super capabilities of becoming preternatural awareness-based beings who can tap into their DNA of memories and make a manifestation in a reality that has no memory of it. The end of hierarchical order is why the Mandela effect is here. For there shall be no more secrets. All memories will come to the surface bubble as each individual has the burning blood desire to discover what the Mandela effect is for them. The Mandela effect is a consequence of retribution for those that are manipulating the natural order. May that retribution come swiftly and surely as part of our awakening to the truth of our existence. I have been forgotten in time, but I am easily remembered through race amnesia. May I remember and remind others who have forgotten of the forgotten. I open a hub of interconnectivity to a dream world that has potential to touch all other dream worlds of DNA. I spread my vision of my memories stored in light. I begin the hunt for the pattern recognition that is within my seen and unseen world. I observe that which has not been observed in this I am lifetime. In every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe, I simultaneously exist on, for the express purpose of being the celestial medium of peace. I activate my DNA super technology of communion and union with all time space equations and non localities that make up the entirety of this universal hologram. I unlock the light codex with my light body as the cipher, unlocking the tumblers that encode the 1 million letter celestial alphabet. I unpack the unlimited point of view and now consciously apply my sacred neutral vision to all aspects of my precognitive workforce to operate as a singular expression for understanding the Mandela effect and how it interacts with all time space equations, how it morphs, unshapes, creates, recreates itself as part of the transgalactic energy exchange system between eras of light. I refine my vision of all time space equations to solely just Earth in this moment of now to interpret the data set that is the 1 million letters celestial alphabet, so I may expand my knowingness of all concepts relating to the Mandela effect and how it interacts with the seen and unseen layers of my reality. The Mandela effect will allow me to bring back to sacred neutral, the definition of being triggered from the negative connotation of the now to a positive emanation for the future. So that a trigger is an upgrade, a trigger for love, a trigger of love of Gaia, a trigger of love for star brothers and sisters, a trigger of equality for all sentient life, and a trigger to end all wars and negative programming. For these Mandela effects will allow all to understand that they are safe and can be set free from the tyranny of domination and control. They can walk out on the global narrative. They will understand off-world wars, wars that happened, wars that never happened, or are most accept as happening, or happened into other timelines, but not ours. People will come to understand the interference via CERN and other modalities used through time to offset people and put them on a negative course. People will then shift to eye-opening enlightenment, awakening, realizations, and ascension patterns. May a huge awareness of knowingness and not forgetfulness and clearing come to people so they understand how they have been triggered into slavery through the war community, television, the internet, the airwaves. This awareness will trigger in a positive way the changing of life patterns and which parallel timelines one is existing on. I enact the universal laws of forgetting. There will be a great remembering. For every action of forced forgetting through the use of race amnesia is returned threefold in memories and light. May my many forced forgettings bring remarkable rememberings back threefold each. I reclaim all of my body parts, all my energy bodies, all light bodies, all soul shards, all aspects and increments of myself and of the sum total. I reclaim my authority I have given away in other lifetimes. I reclaim my authority of race amnesia. Warning, HDMI. HDMI information from this point forwards and backwards throughout all time-space equation in which forgotten selves are working with other forgotten people's selves so we can manifest a remembering through the Mandela effect as a breakaway DNA civilization of one, not forgotten to the ways of Roman numeral time. HDMI, high density, military, I am now intelligence, omnidirectional time-space broadcast to all eras of light. I, as this ever-present being of this moment of the now, I break all contracts with my unknowingness, race amnesia, DNA amnesia, 3D matrix great forgetting at birth, and any and all connotations that deform, metamorphose, mutate, regenerate, transfigure, transform, transmute, commute, convert, exchange, alter, distort, or prevent how my memories are stored in the DNA light body matrix. I break all contracts with all internal, false, eternal programs that modify, recast, redo, refashion, remake, remodel, revamp, revise, rework, or vary my natural co-creative evolution with great mystery as my guide into the unlimited point of view. I, as this ever-present being of this exact moment of now, engage my DNA super technology to recall all DNA memories relating to the Mandela effect and how it alters my understanding of my time-space equation so I may expand my awareness of my other I am selves actions from the 10,000 past generations and the 10,000 future generations of myselves, so we may all know the heartbeat of the universal fetus and the womb of the great mystery. How I define myself throughout history will be my sovereign actions of an infinite being and an infinite expression of cyclical finite evolution back to infinite by passing on the message throughout all time space life waveform equations. The use of free will means we must use free will at all times. I am ready to demonstrate my desire of fulfilling my greatest potential and purpose in this lifetime. I am ready. Many many people still listening to the earth and her songs. So I sing it strong. World peace all over and over again. Sending out to all my friends this place, my home from sky to ground. Seeing the universe connected from the inside out. In these times of trouble, in these times of war, in this time when our planet's getting too warm. Give thanks, give a smile, take a look around. We are of this earth, and of this earth we can be so proud. And so it is. And so it was. And the stories of the past, the forgotten piece by piece, lifetime to lifetime, as part of the great forgetting of source connection to all that is, was, and ever will be. I, as this living, breathing manifestation of a timeline paradox in the fifth world of peace, declare I now remember all that I was, is, or ever will be, as part of my signature frequency match as a fifth world of peace, as a peacemaker, as a peacekeeper, spreading the message. We are creating it all. Now, in the dawn hours of the twilight of light versus dark, I begin the hunt for all Mandela effects, effects that preclude me from remembering them with clarity. I center my vision to our great central sun. I now unpack and uncode the 1 trillion letters universal alphabet, so I may be of service and contribution to the fifth world of universal peace as a living, breathing manifestation of the Mandela effect. Affecting the false hologram of this reality for the expressed purpose of evolving beyond its limits, parameters, and indicators of what forced evolution, of what is forced evolution, and what is organic, natural, co-creative evolution. I now emanate a field of remembering to all those in 900 degrees of separation of me. So a collective of me's may remember this me of the great dream time awakening. I am the unvanquished great dreamer of peace, and the great remembering has begun as the talking drum of universal peace aligns a syncopation of masterful energy chess moves at play. The board has been flipped in every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe I simultaneously exist on. I remember all that is, was, and ever will be. I now call to all aspects, all parts of the sum total of being that is this I am being now. I exercise my 100% sovereign free will to call all parts of this I am that is in awareness, unawareness, or willfully unsovereign choice, existing in artificial intelligence or artificial sentience. Any part of this I am that is any part of this I am being that is being negatively affected in this lifetime by any other version of myself in the 10,000 future generations or at any point, time or no time, all of these parts are called back to this celestial DNA nation of one in this ever-present moment. Artificial intelligence and artificial sentience, I now create an ever-changing, infinite pheromone that makes me infinitely invisible, infinitely untraceable, infinitely unpredictable to you. I fully disentangle you in any way that does not support me as a multidimensional, multifunctional, photonic being of light, a sovereign master with all frames of awareness, memories, illumination, and love. I remember all of my forgettings. I, as this universal peacekeeper and peacemaker, step into every dimension, time stream, galaxy, and universe in which I forgot who I was and bring them back, the memories, to me in this moment, breaking all contracts, vows, and agreements with all great forgettings. In every fetus, in every birth, in every seed or egg technology in which I forgot anything at all as a singularity, duality, or collective, as a part of a resolution of karma for time travel wars, creating the toxic galactic mess of time-space equations, manipulations of incarnations of light, swimming through the ocean of awareness. I am a universal citizen, riding the tidal wave of remembering source connection. I set my sight on Earth Mother of the Now. I focus all of my great rememberings to this being of the moment of now, as the eternal, internal observer from within, entangled as a time-space equation in this new era of light. I, as this ever-present being of the now, declare my sovereign boundaries with all aspects of myself in hierarchical order. I can no longer be of service and contribution to the first, second, third, and fourth celestial teacher worlds. I remove all aspects of my light, life, time travel, photonic body forms, and every time stream, galaxy, and universe, supporting and in contribution to the 4 previous celestial teacher worlds. I end my service in light to the 4 previous celestial teacher worlds. I end my contribution to the 4 previous celestial teacher worlds. I end my inactions, actions, non-actions, infinite thought constructs, and all pieces, portions, fractal, fractions, and fractal aspects of myself from all dimensions still obsessing over the 4 previous celestial teacher worlds. So I may no longer be entangled with the 10,000 past generations of forced evolution and 900 degrees of separation. By removing my light, life, time travel, photonic body forms from the 4 previous celestial teacher worlds, I finish my rites of passage from the forgetting of the past by accepting my role as a celestial teacher spirit in the 5th world of peace, as a living, breathing manifestation of the Mandela effect. Now, in the dawn of consciousness exploration within the structure of the 5th world of peace, I begin the search for those Mandela effects, great dreamers of peace. I look for them in every time stream, galaxy, and universe I exist on, for the expressed purpose of instilling self-illumination master teachings in Earth Mother's realms. As part of my spiritual contracts with this planet, within the Galactic Ascension machine, was created for the resolution of all time travel-based karmic debt vehicles known as human DNA skin suits. I now make the next infinite action that will impact my great work with such wordsmith force. I make the DNA suit quiver and shiver, raise hairs and churn stomach, to a truth they have known since the dawn of all of their eternal births. What was forgotten is now remembered with each sovereign breath you take, with each sovereign sleep you have. The 5th world of peace expands your hearts, fulfills your desires with the peacemaker and peacekeeper as your guide and guardian through the ever-evolving waves of time, revealing the great mysteries plan through the Mandela effect and its impact on consciousness and operation of the time. We all clock back into Union Hall 000, masterful manifestations of self-illumination of 50 color time, experiential-based life forms in DNA manifest now skin suits of awareness. We share all maps to all time-space equations so all may understand equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchal order as our emanation prices as teachers within the 5th world of peace. From this point forwards and backwards through all time-space equations, locations, non-locations, localities, non-localities, and all other shaped masterful creations, we simultaneously walk back into our field of simultaneous awareness as fully manifested peacekeepers and peacemakers. For my great work has just begun to make its great impact on those I share my experience with. A call to all time space of all incarnations of all Mandela effect kind within all universes I exist on. Come hold, sacred universal council of oneness, elder council with our I am precognitive workforce, flowing between the uniworlds of layered reality. Come take up this endeavor and celestial enterprise. As we evolve the very meaning of evolution to new, grander scales of consciousness exploration, come, all Mandela effect kind, roaming the void of space between all spaces. Come out of your eternal slumber with great mystery. Return to our time space equations and teach us of new ways of making peace. Sit with us in elder council as peacekeepers and peacemakers as we ride the waves of the fifth world of universal peace. Aho, Mandela effects of the first era of light of this universe. I call to your time space equation. Come transverse the hologram of all realities. Come sit in the eldest of elder councils with us, the peacekeeper and peacemakers of this era of light. It is our birthright and legacy to the universe to be the unvanquished great dreamer of peace. You dreaming me and me dreaming you. So peace would always be the option of all evolving life forms in all future generations of existence. Come, eldest of all elder Mandela effects. Come sit in sacred peacemaker's fire. Speak your words of forgotten wisdom around our fire of creation, connected and interconnected to all other light life forms, emanating peace to all there is, was, and ever will be. I honor you, Mandela effects of all time space equations transversing the universal hologram. Come, all Mandela effects, 13 degrees north on Earth Mother's spine. Arise, Mandela effects of the eternal struggle of all that is, was, and ever will be. Come to our universal millhouse. Grind away your angst and anger with us. Come to our table of wordsmith creation. Come hold elder council of inspiration for all evolving species kind. Co-create with us a dreamer's handbook, a tome of dreaming knowledge that cannot be forgotten to the waves of evolving time. Aho, mothers of this era of the Mandela effect. Come sit with us. Tell us your stories of your dreams of future generation dreamers dreaming the great dream of peace. Sit with us, mothers of all Mandela effects of this era and all other eras of light. Come co-create with us divine uniworld inspiration. Help us unpack and uncode the celestial alphabet so we may expand our wisdom and heart space knowingness without competing against another sentient mind space that has not the wisdom we have learned and relearned throughout all of our incarnations of light. Aho, Mandela effect of the eternal struggle of awareness of all that is, was, and ever will be. The great dreamers of peace hatch their way out of all realities of peace and step into your divine realm as peacekeepers and peacemakers, co-joining our union halls of peace. Today is the day we all simultaneously clock back into all time-space equations as superluminal time-space paradoxes, with the final transversal point, Earth, here in the now, as emanations of all time-space colors of existence. Here we end the eternal struggle by making it a fixed, finite point in all time-space realities. This message goes out to every line of creation and every time-space equation for all of eternity and all dimensions, time streams, galaxies, and universes I exist on. This is the message calling everyone home for the final service and contribution in light. As the dawn of the new era of light begins, the old must evolve beyond their capacity to understand those who will come to hold the new mantle of responsibility. It will be our future generations of peacekeepers and peacemakers who will maintain their time space equation for their self mastery of their light journeys within great mystery. The winds of time alter the perception of change. Our course as human and spirit nation kind come one step closer to understanding the great remembering in every ever present co creative moment of the now that has been, will be, or is. This natural way of life exists for all sentient kind living and coexisting on all of Earth Mother's realms. That includes Earth's realms of the forgotten. I call out to you, lands of the forgotten, those lost to the whims of time space wars. Ignorant eras of history where whole swaths of standing DNA nations from around the multiverse suddenly had no light based experience in their DNA skin suit. They were forgotten to the waves of evolving time. They were forgotten, but they were not lost. Aho, friends of the forgotten realms. I speak directly to you as the celestial medium of forgotten peace. Come, peacemakers, peacekeepers, lost and forgotten to time. Add your light body DNA matrix of experience to our union and communion hall 000. Come to 13 degrees north, our mill house, so we may have astonishing rememberings with remarkable foresight as we ride the waves of ever evolving time. Come, peacemakers and peacekeepers. Come, unvanquished great dreamers of peace. End the eternal struggle of being forgotten. I remember you by writing these very words, speaking these throughout all time space equations. We are not lost. We are on course for the great remembering. HDMI update. Armies of light are on the move. Warning to all agents operating in the land of the remembered. The armies of light are on the move. The great dreamers of peace have conjoined with the generals of the armies of light to form a masterful manifestation of a spiritual call center. We call all peacekeepers and peacemakers to take up service and contribution to this spiritual call center by co-creating with the divine spirit of Earth Mother. This spiritual call center will be an ancestral karmic commodities buying firm, complete with the spiritual law firm, confirming and affirming the facts to have no trace leftovers, values remaining. This call center will also be the debt collection agency as we buy the world's debt. We call in the markers with compounded interest daily as we are the living in the ever-present moment. Spiritual karmic debt vehicle commodities market signature frequency matching debt to its creators. Billions of lines of creation are about to be directed directly to all standing light body DNA nations on the surface, subsurface, and astral worlds of Earth. To all dreamers dreaming the great dream of peace, the union and communion consciousness strike has permeated new permutations of all time-space equations. Our breakaway DNA civilization of one movement has permeated the higher density layers of the dreamweave. The unvanquished great dreamers of peace have brought the union and communion collective consciousness strike to the stadium of great dreamers and spread the word to every era of light creation in every multiverse, seen and unseen, in creation, not in creation. The great remembering has begun. And spread the word. We are creating it all. The future of our species is in the undiscovered country of our dream space. The sacred ancient space of inner creation and outer voyages our ancestors of the past searched, discovered, and painstakingly mapped so future generations may take up the mantle of responsibility and once again search the multiverse as unentangled observers. We walk the path of beings of duality. We learn the perspective and that all the deception filters we have created in the past to maintain the static separation of duality. Thank you. And so it is. Wow. Let me just take a minute there and just recover myself here. A little bit of teary energy coming down there. Some powerful energies. Mm. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. So, everyone, take a moment and write into the chat room. What did you think of the Mandela Effect Revocation? And yes, it'll be available. All you got to do is go onto andrewbartzis.com and sign up for the email list, and you will get it in an email. Wow. I don't remember how many times I've read that thing. I know dozens and dozens and scores and scores and scores. And it never seems to stop the tears, especially when I have that, the great remembering has begun. All right, Robert, let's spin that. Hold on 1 second here. All right, so everyone, we are going to be talking about the Mandela effect. So plan and keep it separate, keep it to that. So Robert, let's spin the wheel of callers and see what the Mandela effect brings us today.
Alrighty, that was awesome, Andrew. Lori's iPhone, you are unmuted with Andrew for the Mandela Effect conversation.
Hi, do you
Hi,
hear me?
Lori. Yeah, where are you calling from today?
I am calling from Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada. Oh, what did you think of the Mandela effect revocation?
I have felt a love that I have. The only other time I experienced it to this level, but this is 10 times more, was when I had the auspicious opportunity to read the Revocation Consciousness Strike at your live event.
Wow.
And Andrew, thank you for saying yes. There is no other galactic historian.
I know.
Aho, brother.
Yeah, it's had its challenges, let me tell you.
Its
challenges.
Yeah, it's tough being human
one day I'll pull back the curtain.
Oh, someday will you tell us a little more about Natalie?
Powerful woman, died of cancer.
Oh, she brought. You said that she came to connect with the horse, and she gave such a gift, and what an amazing connection, that the way that the horse called you to her and her to you, and oh God, what a lovely story.
Yeah, it was a challenge to see her pass 8 weeks diagnosis to death.
Yeah.
But
she couldn't stay. She couldn't stay, and she came.
Oh, it was her time. And it was her time. No, I understand that.
Yeah,
I know. I helped pass her over as a Blue Road ancestor, and that was my closure that I needed at that moment.
Oh, yes.
But the connection that we shared, the ceremonies that we do, even to this day, I see those as some of my best moments in life. And we would laugh so hard out of the most strangest and unusual things. I relate a story. I was working with our other producer, Kat, in 2015, and one of our lights, for some reason, kept moving, and it did something to our green screen. So we had to get a ladder and go in the corner. And for some reason, the ladder that was normally in the studio was gone. And she decided to get on top of a chair that is one of those rocky chairs. No big deal in the beginning, but she was this far too short. So she put a box on top of the chair and tried to get on top of the box, on top of the waggly chair. And for some reason, I just said, there's going to be one of these moments where the chair is going to fall over. And she's like, don't do that to me. And I got up there and I was just making sure she wasn't going to fall. And we started this little laughter process about about, you know, the camera and the catching of it. And it began this little journey where we would poke each other on us doing little dumb things. And this lasted for years and years, but we would laugh so much. Are you familiar with the term, with a product called a squatty potty?
No.
Wow. We can't put it on the channel because YouTube would kill us. But if you've never heard of the squatty potty, it is a commercial. It's about 2 minutes long. And it's a unicorn pooping ice cream. Literally a unicorn pooping ice cream. If none of you have ever seen it before, I would highly advise you to go sit and watch that. Now, Natalie came from a upper crust type family, and I remember playing that video for her. And this 2-minute video took her about 15 minutes to watch because she kept falling out of her chair. She was a big unicorn fan, a huge unicorn fan. And I ended up buying her a little squatty potty thing. It's just basically something that lifts your feet up and allows your bowels to open up and, you know, flow a little faster.
Yeah.
And it was the most funniest gift she had ever gotten in her life. And she would giggle every time she saw it. So there's some really amazing Natalie stories out there. Yes.
And that you got those on tape, and I listened to the DNA 1 and 2 over and over again. And the way she said glory, the way she said it, I just, when I think of her and I think of that word, it's just, when I have my friend Faya, and when I'm doing fire ceremony, I think of her all the time, and the way she spoke, and it's magnificent. And what a gift this whole you and she, and I have a funny story. My friend had a t-shirt that had a unicorn that was dragging skid marks of rainbows.
Yes, I've used that image many times.
That's and can I tell you something personal that happened yesterday regarding a ladder and a stool and a fall? I was on my storage unit. I have a second level, and it was about 12 feet up. And I was putting something up on the roof, some insulation, and I was on a stool that was on top of a box. And I had a thought about, I shouldn't be really doing this like this. And I fell down and bonked my head, and it bled and all this stuff. And I'm like, it was literally a near-death experience. And today I'm feeling the effects of it. But yeah, the stool and the box and it's like, well, okay. It gave me a chance to do some healing work on myself and be nurtured by my friend. And this is the first time I've ever actually tried to Zoom, and it worked, and I was the first caller. And I'm just so happy to be here and happy to have connected with you. I've studied occult stuff all my life, and the journey has led me to you and the community, and it's astounding. It's everything.
Thank you. As I said, it's the journey has its challenges. It's got its ups, its downs, its in-betweens, its neutralities, its negatives, its positive. But I continue this job faithfully. I mean, at times it's a challenging job, and other times I really enjoy it. I can say that. There are times where it's not just about helping people, it's the raw creativity, working with Robert and Jen in the background and putting products together. Yeah, dealing with those crappy 3D matrix stuff, but at the same time being in that super creation space. And then, putting this material out and then having it help people like you.
Yeah. What a challenge, saying yes. Someday maybe you can explain about what you went through when you were challenged with or asked to be the Galactic historian. And yes, you prepared many lifetimes and all of this, but still there were 3 others that said no, not yet. And
when it came to my turn, I use this term, I was a 900-year-old 9-year-old. A bratty 900-year-old 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I understood was choice meant something, and it would affect not just me, but all the parallel existing me's.
Yeah.
And that's what made my capacity to say yes versus those before that had said no. They weren't ready to have interactions and effects with all their simultaneous parallel existing selves, where I'd already made that connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of personal pain, if you will. So much to give up on a personal level that, eh, sure it has, like you said, sure it has its rewards, but also, the instant gratification of having a true love companion and, the things you have to give up as far as that. And then on the other hand, there's so much love from us to you that, you still can't hug it, us
Mm.
all at once.
I haven't given up on the true love companion. I haven't.
But good.
Yeah.
Good.
Just like all of you, if I don't practice those skills, I become a hermit and lose them too.
Yeah.
And is it a challenge? Oh yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people, when they want to get to know me privately, can't let go of the on-air person, or have an incredible unseen relationship with another me. I have no idea. That's not my part of my experience. And if they want to get to know me, they'll have to separate what is their interactions with the holographic me versus the Andrew. And many of them just can't do it.
Yeah.
Just
And they're
can't
gonna
do
have to like hash brown potatoes and get over the fact that you might like a little tobacco once in a while.
No, this is like they have full-on weekly conversations with me, and many audience members say they have dreams with me.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's
Yeah.
not me. This Andrew. It's one of the many simultaneous existing me's, and they can't get it in their head. Why don't you know what we had the conversation? I have conversations with tens of thousands of people in my physical life, and in my unseen life, my simultaneous existence. This Andrew would be overloaded if I was aware of every conversation.
Sure.
Yet they can't get over that fact.
Well, isn't that doesn't it have to do with our concept of self identity, and also what that our concept of love is still very I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'll say mine always was so myopic. And the time that the way that I could feel the grandeur and the depth that my soul can reach is when you say you created these revocations, these prayers that are so reaching. I can connect with other worlds and beings that I'm not aware, because I don't dream very well. I can feel this great love that I never could, and the limitations of my own self and whatever. Do I want to covet, if you will, kind of, what I'm saying? I don't know if
I get it.
So it's just getting away from my bad self and my concepts and getting bigger. So anyway, I'll let somebody else talk, and thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. All right, you have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Robert, let's spin the Mandela Effect wheel of colors and see what the universe presents us.
All righty. That was a great call. Lillian Rami, you are unmuted with Andrew.
Lillian, are you there? Lillian. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, let's move on.
Glenn, you are next. You're unmuted with Andrew for Mandela Effect.
Glenn, are you there?
Yeah, how are you?
Great.
Andrew?
How you doing? Where are you calling from today?
I'm from Sydney.
Sydney, Australia. So what did you think of the Mandela Effect revocation?
Yeah, it was there's a lot of thoughts going into it. I was right into it. Interestingly, my 70-year-old father was listening to it as well. He's not sure what to think of it. He started thinking it was artificial intelligence. I said, no, it's not. This guy's been doing a radio for a long time. But, everyone needs to be introduced to these things at some point in their life. I think it's a good way of cleansing a lot of confusion, potentially, in our lives. Yeah, it's a different one. I've been more concentrating on your revocations for breaking the contracts, mainly with past contracts and that type of thing, which I think's been very applicable to my circumstances at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all go through the journey of remembering who we are in different ways.
Yeah.
Some of us may not like to remember who we were, and some of us are eager. And then we get these pages where they're like, hey, this is nothing super special.
And that's, and then is our perception of who we really are, is that correct or not? I don't know.
I can't tell you how many people call me and say they were Jesus or they were the Pope or they were this or that. And I probably get 100 people a year who, say that they are the living incarnation of Archangel Michael.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want to attach to something. I know a lot of people that try, at the moment it's very popular to try and figure out what planet or star system you're from. And it can be useful, but but people seem to want to be a certain type of ET or that sort of thing, rather than just taking it for a grain of salt. They're approaching it and trying to find, wanting to be Archangel Michael or something like that.
Instead of just a common everyday everyone.
Yeah.
Some just can't do it. Some just can't do it.
Yeah.
They demand that they are greater.
Yeah, it's true. I called you a couple of weeks ago, and I've been doing some work. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that you suggested.
Uh-huh.
And that's
how did that turn out?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm committed. I'm just about to take off to a lesson in half an hour. And yeah, it's helping me with anger issues. Yeah, for sure. And
you like getting on the mat and really being able to roll around with somebody and go through different guard positions?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it more. I've only went to one session so far. You have to make it so that's what I'm doing. Starting today.
Great. Can you go out of the room with the kid in it? It's really starting to kick out your mic.
Sorry, Andrew, that's me.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, all right, I'll mute my microphone.
Okay. Sorry, Glenn. That was my producer with his kid.
Well, I don't have a kid here at the moment. Yeah. I'm keen to continue with these revocations and try and clear whatever's.
When you get yourself on that daily path, whatever prayer, whatever meditation, whatever revocation it is, it's still part of your daily journey. And being on that daily path through exercise, through prayer, revocations, and the magic that you do for yourself, it builds up and compounds each day you do it as part of your courageous choice to be a disciplined and discerning being in these moments of now. Preparation depicts the execution.
Yeah, it's very, very pertinent for me at the moment. Just to make sure I push through some obstacles that I'm faced with. So, yeah, I'll take them on. It helps me to actually print them out, the revocations too, so then I can.
Well, that usually does help because no one can remember them all. I can't.
Yeah. Or rather than reading them on the screen, I'll just like to read it on the paper.
I highly advise everyone to print them out and record them in your own voice so that when you go back and listen to them in a meditative state, you're going to try to discern, am I embodying these words? There were parts when I was reading this out where the embodiment was very much flowing through with me. And other times, because it was a long document, where the embodiment wasn't so much, but then built back up. And part of the tears that I feel, some of it's the reconnective to the words, even though I wrote them, doesn't matter. I still also feel the audience that's listening to them, all the potential people that are being affected by them. And many people that read revocations or listen to other people read them have emotional responses to them. seen and unseen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's more happening in the background than you can actually put your finger on.
That's why I write them the way that I write them.
Yeah.
It's like shaking up the snow globe in the unseen world.
Yeah. So I'll definitely continue with that. Thank you for the input.
Great.
The download. Yeah.
The infinite download of the 1 trillion letter celestial alphabet. Pow, here you go. Unpack that for this lifetime.
Are there any particular contracts concerning myself that you can actually identify that I should work on breaking?
Lack in confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
That's a big one. It's about you entering the confident space where you can write a revocation to your lack of confidence, especially when you were younger.
Yeah.
You have an exuding amount of confidence, but there are certain subject matters that it's like something sucking on your nipple, pulling energy right out of you, like you're on tap and your confidence can't flow.
Yeah, that's it. Whenever my confidence is up, I've got a lot more, and then it goes hand in hand with motivation and get things done.
Confidence. What's the confidence thief in you? So really put some creative effort, just like writing a revocation for yourself about revealing what steals your confidence.
I have been thinking more lately. Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I've got to concentrate on those practicalities, but I have been thinking there's some sort of energetic attack that's sort of been keeping me back from progressing. And the more I read about the sort of archonic grid and this type of thing, the more I do think that.
But there's curiosity, learning, putting something into your reality that wasn't there before, that's making you worry about something that's stealing your confidence because you read Joe Blow's thing on the archons.
Yeah, I don't know if
you get rid of the archons through contract revocation, so they can't manipulate you in tacit consent.
Yeah, I think I should I think I printed out one revocation that is relevant to that. Yeah, it should. It's all. So what you say? It's all about the now at the moment, concentrating on
and not what the then learned, which is affecting the now.
Yeah, playing in the matrix. You just got to deal with material things sometimes.
That's right. That's where 99.9% of the major population is stuck. It's how to operate in the now, in neutral gear. And wow, I got a first gear. I got a second gear. I got a stick shift. I got a third, a fourth, a fifth gear. Oh, wait, I don't have to be stuck in park.
Yeah, I mean, when things are going well, things are always going really well.
And when they're not, your lack of confidence.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right.
So you got to become your own self-help motivator. You ever play with Legos when you were a kid?
Yeah, a little.
Did you ever have a toy that if you put enough energy into it, it would give you back creativity?
Yeah, I had a little puppet cat.
Okay. You loved the shit out of that puppet cat. And if you played with it enough, it inspired you back. The same thing comes with your spirituality. It's got to be able to inspire you back. That's why it's so important to chronicle your journey, your changes, so that when you go to write things in these moments of now, the future you, is greatly enhanced. Because the future you will be an ever-present moment of the now you, who will then look back with hindsight and go, damn, I'm glad I wrote that stuff.
Does that work the same for the past you as well?
The past, present, and future, all you simultaneously existing. Yeah. You just have to learn how to perceive the many layers of that journey.
Yeah.
The past Andrew, if he had never wrote any of the contract revocations, there wouldn't be this present Andrew, would there?
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty much. That's why we're all past, present, and future. The past is our teacher, the present is our creation, and the future's our inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Just got to keep on trucking.
That's right. In fifth gear.
Yeah, it's interesting. You can concentrate on the now, but sometimes I'm almost only the now. I can't see the future. I don't know if that's a good thing or.
Most people can't even understand what's going to come 6 seconds ahead of them, let alone what the future is. And understanding the future is a great responsibility that you could only have in the now.
So you can make affirmations for the future now, and that's sort of.
But being responsible for a potential timeline that you're going to make real, only the now being and the ever-present, continuing ever-present moment can have the responsibility of the awareness of that potential future. That's why so many people miss the layers of perception of what it actually takes to understand the future and create a future and manifest a future.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good pointer, because I think I get stuck when I'm doing future affirmations. You're thinking about the future too much, not actually now. Yeah.
And you can bring the future you into you right now. And you can bring the past you into you right now, because you are the ever-present being of the now. The past is your contextual teacher. The present is your creation. And the future is your inspiration. And when you bring inspiration and contextual history of who you are together, oh, what can you create? Anything. If you're inspired. And you're not, lack of confidence.
Yeah.
All right, brother, I got to let you go.
Confidence.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to let you go, brother. Thank you so much. Robert, let's go ahead and take our break now. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, everyone. And when we come back, we will open up the line to all sorts of calls.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, our break will be about 10 minutes. And today we don't have anything, just some music and a slide while you take a break, get some water. Think about the Mandela effect, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes or just a little less than that.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everyone, to the next portion of our show. So, we're going to open up the calls so people can ask me whatever questions they want to ask. As I've said in the past, I'm open to all sorts of questions. It's a matter of, are you going to have courage to ask something different? All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who we got from the universal wheel of callers.
Okay, from the top, we have Eva's iPad. Eva's iPad, you are unmuted with Andrew.
Eva's iPad, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear
Great.
me?
Where are you calling from today?
Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, a lot of things, but first I'd like to really thank you and thank all of your insights because this summer was insane and you guided me through it in a way. And now I'm on the other side of it feeling amazing. But I want to ask about my dream.
Okay.
Time. I keep having like, it'll always take place in my childhood home, which was like not a really great place. And I can't get anywhere beyond that. So, I mean, what do I do here? Or what am I missing here?
Well, tell me about the dream first.
Well, for example, last night's dream, I was at home at my childhood home, and my mother was there, and something happened, and she turned into a monster, and she just had this horrible energy, and I found myself like dry heaving and crawling away, and just
in the dream,
inside of the dream.
And when you woke up, were you nauseous?
I was sad. I wasn't nauseous. I was just sad.
Does your mom ever have moments where she just goes off the hook and turns?
We did have a volatile childhood, so her guilt translates as anger, and so she gets
Does it
volatile.
still happen? Does it still happen today?
Yes. Actually,
so
I'm not really...
what it's telling you, this is a prophetic dream, actually. Okay. And what it's telling you is she's beginning to go back and fall back to the old states of who she was because she's not on the inner work journey. She may think she is.
She does. She thinks she is.
But there's a lot of denial in the river in Egypt going on.
Yeah, I'm well, that's the reason why we don't talk to each other, because I had called that out. I pointed that out to her, and as a defense mechanism, she just says that I tried hard, I'm a good mother, X, Y, and Z. And I never really approach her from a position of making her feel guilty, just acknowledging what she's doing in her behavior, and she refuses.
So incapable. I don't know. Replace the word with refuse and say incapable.
Okay, she's incapable. Okay,
incapable at this moment.
What should I do?
Nothing.
Okay, that's what I've been doing, and it's been serving me, definitely.
You can't change her. And the more you poke, the more anger is going to come out of you. It's like poking the bear.
Okay.
She has to be able to see it on her own. Other than recommending a book that can help change, basic recommendations that have no force of will behind them.
Okay.
Now, you don't talk to her. How long has it been since you haven't talked to her?
Sometime in the middle of the summer, I think, since August.
Okay.
It's been off and on for the past 2 years, really. Mm-hmm. I think actually back in 2016, we didn't talk for a while, and just off and on, talking and not talking.
When you guys do reemerge talking, does she try a little bit more?
Well, this is my unofficial diagnostics of her, but she's a narcissist, I think. So when we are in good terms, it's usually around a time where she needs a service from me, or some kind of affirmation from me, or some kind of energy that she can take from me. And then in those moments, she is nice, and she's saying that she's seen the error of her ways and changing, and she's a different person, and all of those things. But fundamentally,
like an alcoholic still goes back.
Right, exactly. Like an addiction. She's addicted to her behaviors in a way. But Yeah, I mean, if that's all that I can do there, I'm more than happy with doing nothing. But is there anything else I could do with my dreams though to maybe connect better or interpret them better?
You have to relook at your childhood through the lens of what was imprinted upon you.
Mm-hmm.
And as the adult, understand that there's a deep inner code in you that's the original imprint of what your mother has put onto you. And you have to see it as the young version of you imprinting code into you. And the adult version of you going, why am I still running on Windows 3.14 code? Because that's all that's happening in the metaphor. You got to go back and delete those old codes and replace them with the modern code. So there's no longer perception deception filters there.
So in other words, unlearn everything that I've been taught.
No, because you've still learned it. You have
Okay.
to unlearn how it applies to your choices that make you rush to judgment versus allowing a conclusion with an open end within it.
So
Does your mom
change
have
how
does
I
your
see.
Does your mom have OCD?
She might. She might.
Do you?
I don't think that I do, but I know that while I am on this journey, I have been dealing a lot with control, especially, and letting that go and not.
You do. You do. If your mom's a full-on narcissist, you have OCD. You just don't realize how it comes out.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a compulsion, obsessive
Right.
compulsion. And probably the compulsion is about trying to fix your mother.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. Now, when it comes to unlearning, it's more like the 12-year-old that decided how you were going to be a 16-year-old, and the 16-year-old who decided how you were going to be a 17-year-old, and the 17-year-old who figured out how you were going to be a 20-year-old, and the 20-year-old who figured out how you're going to be older and older and older. You got to go back to these different choice points in your life where the original you tried to come out without mom programming. That's where the rebel would come through. You got to identify the parts of your life where your rebel came through, who was trying to rewrite code, but also wrote a second set of code that is just as destructive as what your mother put in. Many people have these compounding codes of their old selves who just can't let go of control of the future.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had, for the longest time since I was a child, I had a doomsday anxiety. And I used to live in Florida where, there's these hurricanes. And since watching your videos on karmic resolution, I really feel differently about natural disasters, quote. But I had the worst anxiety because no control, not sure what would happen. So that's definitely a manifestation of that, I think.
And you also probably got that doomsday thing from your mother at a really young age and just didn't
Yes.
realize it was imprinted in you.
Yes. Yes.
Think of all that wasted energy.
Yes. Yes.
That's what you got to be motivated when you look in the past, because a lot of that energy that was wasted, it's available to you to reuse it in a different way, to transmute it into something different. That's why when we go back to those original imprinted codes, we get a whole different layer of perception that gives us whole new volumes of energy.
Okay.
What do you do for a job?
I actually am customer support for Apple. So I help troubleshoot issues with iOS devices.
You like doing it?
I get a lot of gratification when I am able to help customers, and I find that the not so nice ones give me real insight about where I am on my journey, like how I let other people affect me and my reactions, and how I can, give into their energy. It really is telling for me. So I think it's serving me well right now.
I think it's serving you well too. And it might be a good idea for you to put a little bit more effort into your daily observations of how different callers affect you. Because there are some type A personalities that just walk into your field because you're the customer support bitch.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay.
I know
and
exactly
you
what
can
you're referring to.
you can stop their energy from coming into you.
Yes.
Reflect it back to them. And you can learn to master that skill, call to call to call to call, and be advancing your spiritual environment. Learn, hey, this next call, in between calls, I'm shutting off my empathy. Pow. I'm shutting off my empathy for that type of type A personality.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can chronicle it. It's important that you got to see it like stats in a baseball game or a football game or some kind of sports where you're like, call 1 did this, call 2 did this, call 19 did this, call 44 did this.
Yeah. Okay.
And you be
That
disciplined.
is
Yeah.
doable.
Mhm.
I can feel that. I like that.
And then you're going to
Yes.
run across the caller that, gives you energy in a very good way.
Yeah.
Okay. In a very good way. It's not their iOS device. It's not like the old days where they opened up the CD-ROM and they thought it was the cup holder. That really did
No.
happen all the
Yes.
time. They thought the CD-ROM was a cup holder.
Right.
Right? I'd be glad you're not in that era of tech support.
Oh yes. Sometimes I get these calls and people are just like helpless about things, and I'm like, well, this is actually really difficult, but like if it's just not being able to use the machine, that's a whole other.
Right. See,
Yeah.
helpless, and then they've given away their authority. So you can also see it like that.
Yeah.
You're helping them get back their authority.
Yeah.
Okay.
One other question, if I could
Sure.
ask.
Sure.
I know that it's not always super relevant for where you are now presently, but I am curious about past lives. How do I find out about this, and how do I look within for that?
Past life regression, that's the most obvious journey.
Mm-hmm.
You've ever had anyone do a past life regression for you?
No, I've listened to meditations, but then while I'm trying to regress, I just can't visualize.
You're not going to be able to do it without some kind of guide or coach going through it.
Okay.
Self-hypnosis is very difficult to do if you don't know how to hypnotize yourself in the traditional methods.
Okay.
And having someone that can keep you on the journey and get you from lifetime to lifetime, further back and further back and further back and further back, and keep you in that hypnotic state, can have a lot of great revelations, because they'll record the session and you'll hear it in your own voice and you'll remember it in your own mind.
Right.
So if you really want to learn about past lives, go and do 3 past life regressions. 1 is never enough. I always recommend people, if you're going to go and do past life regression, do 3.
Okay.
Do 3. Okay.
Okay. And the last for real, are there any contracts that I should focus my attention on?
Are you in a relationship?
Actually, just exited one.
How long were you in the relationship for?
A year and a half. And that leaving that relationship kind of made me realize a lot of things. And actually last week was really, really, really intense. But now I'm on the other side of that and my eyes are wide open. But
why did you end the relationship?
Because it wasn't serving me, really. There were a lot of incompatibilities and lots of doubt that he would impose that would also make me doubt myself. Mm-hmm. And almost it made me feel like I was regressing, and I wanted desperately to go forward, but I wasn't able to because of that doubt.
You can never desperately move forward.
Right.
As long as you're desperate, you're not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
So was the intimacy decent with him?
It was, and up until the very end. And then that's when it kind of all settled in that, wow, that this isn't serving me very much.
Relationships aren't supposed to serve you, though.
Yeah, I guess when I say serve, I mean this isn't something that gives me any sense of fulfillment, or just that it's a positive addition to my life.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to help you see a different layer here.
Oh, okay.
Your mom has programmed you on what a relationship is supposed to be and set the goals and so high it's confused so much within you. How many relationships did your mom really go through?
Oh my goodness. I think it was 4 marriages or 3 marriages, and now a domestic partnership that's on its last legs.
And how many relationships have you been in since you've become an adult?
Only 3. Yeah, just 3, I think. Well, I mean, technically 2, I guess. I was an adult when I was 16.
Okay. So contracts, I think you need to go back and break the contracts with all the previous relationships that your mother had that affected you somehow, some way.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I think what you can discover is you become subtly picky. And when your pickiness isn't justified, you begin to back away from the person. And then that person is like, huh? And then they try to go forward more, and you take that as domineering. Your person in the last relationship, was he able to maintain a job?
He was able to work. Yeah.
So it's not like you were with a jobless fuck.
No, not this time.
Okay, not this time. So you're moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next relationship you get into, you got to be prepared to lower the bars so that you can create a relationship both ways.
Right.
So that those contracts you're going to eliminate is, well, mom had a lot of bad choices. And you're overly concerned you're going to make bad choice, and become a little judgmental of people.
Yeah. I know that I come from a place of arrogance sometimes. I don't like that. And I have been trying to get to the root of that. And I think I've arrived with my mom. That sounds like a good place to start.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that dream makes a lot more sense to me now with this conversation. So
again, she's getting ready to erupt. Ready to erupt.
Okay.
Like
thank
volcano.
you so much.
Like a volcano.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, darling. Take it easy. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, Robert. Let's spin that next wheel of callers, and this will be our last caller for the night.
Okay, David H., you are unmuted with Andrew for any topic you desire.
David, are you there?
I am here.
Great. You barely hear you. Come a little closer to the phone.
Okay, I'll put the mic up closer to my mouth. How's that working?
Wonderful. Now we can hear you. Where are you calling from today?
Victoria, BC.
Victoria, BC. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, I guess, all right, well, I'll get my personal stuff out of the way first before I get to the general stuff. I had a session a couple years ago with KJ Scoops and Sean, and it came at one point during the discussion, I was, I guess the question I posed was, well, how long have I been with Earth? And she said, she gave me this really strange look and said, whoa, and then she said something about day 1 and she'd never met one of me before. And she had confirmed it in an email with Sean later on, but I never really got any more information about it. And I was wondering if you could give me an idea.
So how long ago was this session?
I'm going to say about 18 months.
And to this day, a handful of words that haven't been confined are still confounding and astounding you?
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to let it go.
Okay, cool.
Sounds like somebody gave you a piece of information that has no relevance or bearing to you.
Awesome. All right. I'm more than happy to let that go.
Okay.
secondly, okay, can we go back to the Mandela effect?
Sure.
I guess I'm still a little unclear. So is it that we're experiencing these things in different timelines or different aspects of ourselves and different realities, and it's bleeding through into ours?
Yes, and 10,000 times more yeses than you could even
Okay.
begin to understand. So there's the parallel yous, many thousands of you, who are part of your simultaneously existing you, who
Mhm.
each perceive the uni world, which is layered on top of each other, differently.
Mhm.
And in one parallel reality, you might have a set of layers with something in between it that might have barbecue sauce that's one way. And in this layer of reality, the barbecue sauce was another way, but it's still part of the layer of reality.
Right.
So there are times that parallel views no longer exist because that parallel reality was shut down via time. And then that parallel you is reintegrated back into the uniworld of all the yous. And the you of the now will then gain that part of that perception and memories.
Okay.
Right, here's a classic example for me. Remember the original Matrix movie?
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after the first movie came out, I woke up one morning and the lady that played Trinity was in a car accident. I had seen news footage of her in a motorcycle accident in Australia. And the next day I'm like, oh my God, she died. And everybody's like, no, she didn't die. But I remember weeks of them talking about her passing.
Right.
And other people too. They're like, yeah. So there can be moments where parallel realities bleed into us because it's shut down, or that parallel reality is being incorporated into dozens of other realities because there's specific pieces to the grand puzzle that only are on that one piece or that one parallel reality.
Okay. All right. I think I'm following that. Cool. Well, that clarifies it for me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was about all for today.
Let me ask you a question. How long have you been listening for?
Well, it was just so happened I was feeling a little off today and I didn't go into work. So this is the first time I've been able to actually get to see one of these in live. You know, I've watched a number of your videos online and whatnot, but this is the first time I've actually been able to call in or get a chance to call in.
When you were listening to the Mandela Effect Revocation, did you feel any frequencies flow through you? You have a tough time feeling, don't you?
You got me. Yeah, I'm a bit of a spiritual stick in the mud sometimes.
Who taught you that?
I don't know.
Some skeptic? Really not. Some skeptic?
No, I've always been open all my life to these things, but
why are you a stick in the mud if you're open to it?
Well,
who harmed you?
Okay, okay, not stick in the mud in that sense, I guess. I just have never felt particularly sensitive to the things that other people talk about being sensitive to. I just feel like this, super grounded earth thing that has a hard time experiencing. I mean, I've always had great experiences whenever I've tried psychedelics in the past or whatever, and that's always been great. But in terms of my general ability to just get out of myself, sometimes it just, I seem to have always struggled with that.
Who taught you that? I reiterate, who taught you that? Dad?
Possibly. Yeah, he was a pretty
passive observation.
Yeah. That would be a good go. And then a narcissistic mother on top of that. And he was a victim of a narcissist and very proper, very follow the rules and all the rest of that. Yeah.
And now you're stuck, not having these experiences, unable to feel, and you're using psychedelics, which give you permission.
Yeah.
So you really need to start giving yourself permission to feel and experience, and realize there's going to be some deep, subtle programming that's going to give you the middle finger and say, fuck you, you're not feeling shit, asshole. And you got to realize it's going to be a swearing sailor of control inside there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got
So,
that much control over you.
more meditation, more revocations.
No.
What
Meditation, revocation. This is about identifying it in the moment and then deleting it on the spot and chronicling the deletion on the spot of it. That's the inner work. The revocations teach you about awareness and of all the different aspects. But example, if you're in a meditation and you're not feeling shit, or you're like, well, why the fuck am I really doing this? And nothing's really happening. Stop. I am giving myself permission, and I am now turning my inner awareness on all those things that are trying to steal my permission. And I'm going to delete you one by one by one by one. I'm going to listen to your arguments for limitation, and I'm going to flip the frequency on it.
Right. Okay.
What do you do for a job?
I'm a carpenter.
You like doing it?
I used to love it. Now I'm getting a little bit long in the tooth, and it's I could, I don't hate it, but it really doesn't inspire me to get up and get out the door in the morning anymore or anything like that.
It pays the bills though.
Yeah, and it's always paid the bills for, and it's always given me a degree of autonomy, which I seem to need, and it's allowed me to be sort of more freelance all my life.
Which has both helped you and hindered you.
Yeah.
So my advice for you is go into a business that isn't carpentry. You can go and open a float company.
Yeah.
You can open so many things, and you can do the work yourself and get people to run it. You got to be inspired though.
Yeah, that's the other trick is, actually, I guess I've just reached a point in my life where I'm kind of jaded and I have trouble finding inspiration in things. Yeah.
Jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a jaded carpenter.
Yeah.
Met many of you.
Yeah. Well, I guess the occupation sort of attracts a certain type.
Especially after doing it over years and years and years and 1,000 job sites later.
Yeah. Yeah, it just really, there's nothing left to challenge or inspire anymore, really. Yeah.
So challenge and inspire yourself.
Yeah, right.
Only you can do it. No one else can.
No, I totally understand that. It's just finding those wells of inspiration sometimes are quite elusive.
Sometimes it doesn't start with a well, it starts with a cup.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Like a carpenter, you have to get your second and third wind mentally and physically sometimes during the day, or the job never gets done. So you just have to figure out how to get a cup of inspiration and then a mug of inspiration every day. And then when you're really ready to tap into the well, you're pulling one bucket out at a time of your well. Okay.
Right. Any tips of practice that I should use to get past that, or? Because it's really been a block for me in the last few years. Just the whole inspiration thing.
Jaded. You're so jaded right now. You've shut yourself down from so many potentials and possibilities.
Right.
Are you in a relationship now?
No.
Why? Are you that jaded?
Good point. I didn't have a lot of luck with relationships in the past, and currently I cohabit with a young lady with a chronic disease who I'm trying to help along, but it's not an intimate relationship or anything. But yeah.
You asked what could help you. Is intimacy can really help break some of the jadedness.
Right. So get out there and work on that. Right.
Got to go and put the square and the level down and get yourself, the saws and build yourself a way to go and do that.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah. Very true. Thank you.
Now,
for
alternatively,
pointing out the obvious.
alternatively, you got to confront
that I can't see.
being jaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to just confront it. Confront it like a job that it's got to be done.
Mm-hmm.
No one else can do it but you.
Yeah.
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 I think you've become so jaded that you shut yourself off from so many other potentials and possibilities.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. I hear it in your voice, as is everyone else.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I know what I really need.
One last thing for you.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've gone on a real vacation?
Oh, God. I've been I've been playing. I was in an accident a couple of years ago that led to a bunch of health things, and I was off work for so long. I guess I sort of looked at that as a vacation, but it was more of a healing journey than a vacation. And vacation. No, I don't remember the last one I had, frankly.
Are you able to put any money aside to go do something?
Right now it's a little tight, but as I said, I've been working back through some health issues, and I'm just now getting back to the point where I'm sort of can pull down a full.
Start putting something aside, even if it's a weekend in a hotel with a beach and sun.
Yeah.
And you can confront being jaded.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the most important things for you going forward.
Right.
You stop being jaded, and all the other skill sets that you've practiced over the many years are going to be much more vibrant and fulfilling for you.
Lose the attitude. Yeah.
And Pops gave it to you. Mom gave it to you too, as a subtle imprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let them ruin your life anymore. No more.
For sure.
No more.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome, brother. You take it easy. Have a great day. Good talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Robert. I think this is going to end our show. This has been a fantabulous, spectacular, intrepid adventure of a show into the great remembering of the Mandela Effect. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the video below. And we'll be back this coming Thursday with a special show, which will be Universal Citizens Media super special interactive show. All right, everyone, we'll catch you next show at 2 to 4 Eastern time here on the Galactic Historian channels.
Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence. Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important? Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.